Hey everybody, welcome to week number 2 as we continue our stitch along with our friends over at Joann.com. Now we're going to continue along with putting the 3 pieces that we made together last week in order to put it together this week in order to create the foundation of the center of your Afghan. You're going to see how all those 3 work together. Again, there's written instructions, crochet diagram, as of course you can follow me here on the tutorial in order to get started. So without further ado, let's head on into the studio and let's get you started right now. So let's continue on to week number 2. Week number 2, we're going to take the 3 motifs and we're going to put them together. We're just going to apply and attach them together just like you see with the vintage white that you see. And then what we're going to do is 2 rows of extra color just like you see. So what I'm going to do is that if you turn it sideways like this, you really get a good glimpse of how it's going to go. So on page number 2, my favorite page, we're going to do a diagram. So let's take a look at that next. So the crochet diagram is showing only 2 motifs. There's 3, but the instruction that you see here is identical, so the third one just to visualize that it's happening over here. And so you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what we're going to do is that we're going to join it. So where the stitch marker was that we placed in the very center, we're going to start and then work our way across, and then we're gonna join it through a 2 together double crochet, and then we're just gonna go up to the middle, and then we're just gonna go back and forth and get smaller into a little square. We're then gonna do the other side. So you do all 4 like that, and then we're gonna do 2 rows on both sides in order to get this done. So the color that they're suggesting is vintage white for these middles. So let's now get our crochet hook and let's get. So we have 2 motifs together just like you see. One has the stitch marker here in the middle. The other one, you just gotta know that the middle one is the middle one of the grouping of 3 is also the other side of where this small square is gonna go. You're not going to sew these motifs together. You're going to use a 2 together double crochet in order to have those joined together. So right where I would put the 1 stitch marker just so that you understand it on the one side there, and I would just create a slip knot, and we're going to join with the slip knot to that same one. So once you know where it is, you can pull that out and just insert your hook, and let's just join it with the slip stitch. So let's make our way across this section here and jump over here to the middle, and then we're just gonna get smaller and smaller, and you're gonna do this for all 4. So to begin, you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. You're gonna jump to the next gapping space right there, and you're going to place in 3 double crochet. I'd go right over top of that straggler line just so that you catch it underneath and it will be hidden. So 1, 2, and 3. So now that the first one is in, I would let the straggler just fall out the back side and then just chain 1 and then just put in another 3 double crochets into the next gapping space that you see. So 1, 2, and 3. So don't chain 1 now, and what we're going to do is that we're gonna put the 2 motifs together. So what we're gonna do is 2 together double crochet. So wrap the hook and go into the corner of this one here and insert in, pull through 2 and hold it. Okay, so don't finish that stitch. So wrap the hook and go into the chain space on the other one right in the corner, pull through 2 and hold it. So now you have 3 loops on the hook. So I want you to wrap and pull through all 3, and you will see that you just joined the 2 there right in the center. You're gonna continue up the other side, so right into the next gapping space. So this grouping of 3 and this grouping of 3 go right in the middle, and you're gonna put 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to chain 1 and go to the next gapping space. So skip these 3, go to the next gapping space and put in 3 double crochet. Then you're just in the middle one of this grouping of 3, so this is like where the stitch marker would be, and you're just gonna put a double crochet in there, and then you're officially gone all the way across that row. So when you lay it flat like this, you started here, you came down, and you went back up, and now we're gonna turn this upside down and we're gonna go back in the other direction. So let's do that next. So let's turn this upside down now, and let's go back in the other direction. So you can see where you buried the yarn in when you went up over top of it, so you can get rid of that now. get rid of those loose ends as you're going on this project. I would highly recommend it. So let's go across the next row. You're going to chain chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and then in the same double crochet that you just had there, I want you to place another double crochet in there. And then I want you to chain 1, and then in between the two groups of the white that you see, I want you to place in 3 double crochet. So let's count those out. So 1, 2 and 3. And now we're gonna immediately do a 3 together double crochet. So let's determine where we need to go on this one. So what we need to do, this grouping of 3, we want to go in the last one. We're gonna just wrap the hook and go into the last double crochet of that grouping of 3, insert the hook in, pull through 2 and hold it. So don't get rid of it. We're then going to go into the top then of these 2 together double crochet, wrap the hook going into that one, pull through 2 and hold it. We're then gonna come into the first one of this grouping of 3, wrap the hook into the first one, pull through 2 and hold it. You now have 4 loops on the hook. You're gonna wrap and pull through all 4. And so that was a 3 together double crochet. So you see 1, 2 and 3. We're now going to work our way back up the other side. So go in between the 2 of the grouping of whites there and put in 3 double crochet. So 1, 2 and 3. I want you then to chain 1, and in the turning chain, not a gap space, I want you to place in 2 double crochets, and that will complete that row off. So 1 and 2. So while I'm here, I'm going to turn my project upside down and go back in the other direction, just like you see, and then we're gonna continue then into the next row. We're now gonna go into row number 3. We're gonna chain up 3. So 1, 2 and 3, and in this gapping space that you see right there, I want you to place in 3 double crochet. So 1, 2 and 3. Then I want you to chain 1, and we're gonna do another 3 together double crochet. So you're gonna come into the last one of this grouping of 3, so the last stitch. So wrapping in, pull through 2 and hold it. You're gonna come in the top of this 3 together double crochet, pull through and hold it, and then the first one of this grouping of 3, pull through 2 and hold it. 4 loops back on the hook, pull through all 4 loops, and that's 3 together double crochet achieved once again. So then we're gonna work our way back up the other side. So chain 1 first, and then in the next gapping space that you see right here, I want you to place in 3 double crochet. So 1, 2 and 3, and then what you're going to do is that 1 double crochet into the last stitch that you have, just like that. Okay, so we have 1 more row to do, or sorry, 2 more rows to do, and then you'll see that the square has been formed. So let's turn this upside down and do the next row. So the next row we have is that we're going to chain a total of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and you're going to double crochet in the same stitch as that one. And then we are going to do 3 together double crochets again. So what we're going to do is we're gonna go into the chain 1 space first, this time, pull through 2 and hold it. We're gonna go into the top of the 3 together double crochet, pull through 2 and hold it, and then into the next chain 1 space, pull through 2 and hold it. You get 4 loops back on the hook, pull through all 4, and let's finish off this row. So there's gonna be 2 double crochets then into the last turning chain. So 1 and 2. Let's turn our work. So just turn it over. Let's do the very last one here. Nice and simple. We are going to do chaining of 3. So you have 1, 2 and 3, and then what we have together is a 2 together double crochet. So it's just gonna wrap going into the top of this 3 together double crochet and pull through, and then we're gonna go into the last stitch here, the last turning chain, pull through 2 and hold it. You have 3 loops back on your hook here, pull through all 3 and you're done. So what you're going to do then is just fasten that off. So what I need you to do is I need you to do the same with the other side here, and I need you then to attach your third motif, okay, on the other side here, and do the exact same here and here. So I'm gonna leave that with you, and then when we come back we'll start our rows across. So please do all of these sections now. Just as an extra note, so I've done the other side, I've turned it over, and I'm starting the same thing on the other side of this. Don't forget that in the middle here, even though you've already attached it to the middle when you were on this side, you're still going into the same spot. So these in particular burgundies are never attached together. These are holding it, the motifs together, just like you see. So you'll do that on both of those then when you're hitting the other side. So make sure that you do go into those corner spaces like you did before. So, okay, so I'll see you at the end of this section, and then we're gonna continue then with the rows going up and down. So we're now back and we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 done just like you see, and there's nothing on the outside, so those are empty. So don't worry about those. And so now we're gonna go in the up and down motion, and the best thing is to do is just show you the diagram, show you what we're going to do, and then we're gonna ride those ups and downs as we go across. We only have to do 2 rows on each side of this, and then we're done, week number 2. So in week number 2, the top and the bottom is exactly identical. So once you do one on the top, then you'll do the same instruction on the other side. They put it in here for your convenience. So we're gonna start on the edge, and then essentially every double crochet and chain 1 space is gonna get a double crochet all the way up until the first corner, and then we're going to apply 5 double crochets then into the corner and then come on down again. So what we need to do is that I highlighted here in the center section here, there's 5 double crochet together. Just look where it's being attached to, so you can see that it's going into the first stitch of this, second stitch of this, and then you see that there's going into the chaining area, and then into the top of that chain area, and then it continues in the up motion again. So when it goes up on the sides, just look at this diagram and just follow it up and see exactly where it's going. When you go up and down, for example on the sides of a row, just like you see here, you just have to be very strategic, and you want to get those counts to be accurate so that the counts are right on the other side. So let's get ourselves going, and I'm gonna show you how to get started, and then I'm gonna meet you at the top. We're gonna come down, and then I'll meet you at the bottom, and then we'll take our way up too. So let's continue to do that. We're gonna go up and down, up and down. So let's now get our aubergine color, and we're going to attach it to the very corner of this project. So just follow it across and go right into a corner and attach. And we're going to attach by chaining 3. So just with the slip stitch attach, chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go do a 2 together, and so the first 2 stitches here, this grouping of 3 is gonna come together. So wrap the hook going into the top of that stitch and leave that straggler down on top so it gets stuck underneath, and I want you to pull through 2 and hold it, and do the next stitch, pull through 2 and hold it, and you have 3 loops on your hook. So you're just gonna pull through all 3, and those just became 1. This allows it to keep going up on a straight side on the side. So now what I want you to do is 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets and chain 1 spaces, and then I'll meet you at the top of the first corner. So let's do that next. So just 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets and chain 1 spaces going to the top of the point. So I'm coming up to the very top point, which is the next one. It's in the chain, it's the corner. So you're gonna put in 5 double crochets so it turns the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want you to continue down then. Every double crochet and chain 1 space is going to get something, and I want you to stop right here. Okay, just before you hit this white section, just stop here, and I'll meet you there in just a moment. So let's do a 5 together double crochet. So you've stopped just before this section here. Okay, so see that? Let's continue. You're gonna wrap the hook, and you're gonna go into the first one of this section right here. So going in, pull through 2 and hold it. So that's 1 of 5. You're gonna go into the same one that this is attached to, and so wrap, going in, pull through 2 and hold it. Now in this chain that you have, the white chain that you see, you're going to place in 2 double crochets there. So just wrap the hook, pull through 2 and hold it. So that was 1, and then you're gonna do it again, pull through 2 and hold it. So that was 2 into that same one, and the exact same one at the top of that join of that same chain, you're just gonna go into the top pull through two and hold it. There should be 6 loops on your hook, so pull through all 6, and that was a 5 together double crochet. So that allowed you to come down and then coming back up. So let's just follow this going back up. So the next side, this is a double crochet, so you're going in the side. I want you to place in 2 double crochets there. So 1 and 2, and then into this next chain that you have here, I want you to place in 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, and then coming up to this one here, I want you to place in 2 of those, 2 double crochet there. So 1 and 2, and then the next chain here, place in 2 more of those. So 1 and 2, and then we're at the top of this peak now, and we're at the very top here. I want you to place in 5 double crochets, and that will allow it to turn down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So essentially you've gone from the down motion coming up over here. So let me just zoom out a little bit here. So you've gone out the down, you put your 5 together, and then basically every one of these stitches had 2 double crochets in the side, and then at the top you had 5. Let's go back down the other side, and you're just gonna look where these are. Okay, so if you look at this side, how many did you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 2. So that means that you have to have 4 groups of 2 going down. So just go into the side. So 1 and 2, so that was 1 group. And just come to the next one, put 2 in there, that's 2 groups. Okay, come into the, just pull it apart and you'll see it. This is 3 groups of 4. Okay, and then come into the last one here. So 2 groups into that one. So you got your 4 coming down, and then the next are doing a 5 together double crochet. So let's start that. It's gonna be in the top of this section here. So right in the top, not the side. So going in, pull through 2 and hold it. Come into the side of that one, put 2 into that one. Okay, I want you to go into the same one that you see the white is being joined with. Pull through 2 and hold it, and then into this empty one right here. Pull through and hold it, and you got 6 loops back on your hook. Pull through all 6 loops, and that was a 5 together double crochet. So now you've just come down, and now you can work your way back up. So going back up, every stitch and chain 1 space is gonna get a double crochet. At the top you'll do your 5 double crochets and then come back down. Just reverse this video, because all you're just gonna do is come back down again and then back up the next section of white. So what I'll do is that I'll meet you at the end of this row, and then I'll show you how to finish that off. So just reverse this video if you need to review how to go back up and down once again. I'm coming up near to the end of the row. I've gone up and down a few times, and I'm just gonna finish off this row. And what I want to do is that I want to pay attention to how it's ending in order to get it to work properly and to keep my stitch counts. So right now I'm just putting a double crochet in each one of the stitches, and I'm coming clear to the end. So here's is the corner. So what I want to do is that I want to count that one plus the one before and the one before, so the middle one and the last one and this as together for 3 double crochet together. So wrap in the hook, going in, pull through 2 and hold it, and continue to do that until you get 4 loops on your hook. So that corner is the last one that you want to do that to, and then you're just gonna pull through all, and then you're good to go. So now you've gone up and down, and now it gets a little bit easier now as you work your way up and down than for the last row for this particular section of week number 2. So let's turn our work and begin the last row. So let's begin, and we're going to chain up 3. So now that I chain my 3, the next 2 become together, just like you see there. And now we're gonna work our way up 1 double crochet in each, going all the way to the peak. So at the top of the peak you have to put in 5 double crochets into the middle one of the grouping of 5 that's already there. So you're just gonna work your way up. I'll crochet as quick as I can to get you there. So 1 double crochet in each. Notice that I'm not counting, I'm just looking for the visual. And when I feel it coming through my left hand, If this is the left hand video, that'll be my right hand, but it's this hand right here. Once I can feel that the corner is coming near, I'm just going to pull it and peel it back so that you have your 5 stitches, so you can just see the middle one is right there, and it's actually just straight up anyway, so it's hard to miss. Okay, which is my next one. Okay, so the next one right here is the middle one, so you're going to put in 5 double crochets into that one. This is 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now you're going to work your way back down then to this section before it jumps back up. So what I'll do is I'll just do a double crochet in each, and then I'm going to put 5 together at the very base of these in order to make it work. So I'll see you there in just a moment. So I'm getting close to the bottom section where I'm going to put 5 together. Let's give you some visual keys so that you don't have to count too much. So right where the 5 are together, this is the grouping of 5 right here. So 1, 2, the middle one of the grouping of 5, and then the next 2 are going to become together as a 5 together double crochet. So this is the middle, these are the 2 on the one side, and the other 2 are the other side in order to make that work. So just wrap the hook going in and start collecting all of those there, and you should have a total of 6 loops on your hook by the time you finish collecting. Okay, so there is my 6, and then pull through all of those, and then that was putting them all together, and then just jump immediately to the next one and start working your way up the hill. Now these hills are not very big on this side because it's the white section, but at the top of the grouping of 5 you're going to put in 5 double crochets and then come back down, and then right where it comes back down again and it wants to jump up, the 5 middle are going to become together. So please do that all the way across, and I'll see you at the end of this row. So when you get to the very end, don't forget that these 3 are included as 1 stitch, so it's right there. So then the next 2 in front of that is also included for that, so don't get confused on what one is the actual end. Okay, so there you go. Put those forward loops together, and then that's it. So you're gonna fasten that off, and then you're going to turn this back to the right side, which is the other side, and then you're going to start going back across the rows, then 2 rows on the other side in order to complete. So fasten this off, and then I'll just get you started, and then we'll continue then and finish this week off. So turning back to the right side up, and I'm gonna start off in the corner here, work my way up and down all the way across, and I'm gonna do my 2 rows. You can just reverse this video back and you will have both sides of this then complete, and I will see you on week number 3. So now that you've done the one side with me, you're gonna go and do the other side exactly the same way so that you can get your stitch along ready for week number 3. So this really kind of is the hardest point in getting started, and now we're gonna continue to build outward from this particular point in the Afghan as we continue along then into week number 3. So I'll see you next week, and it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as our friends over at Joann.com. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.